So what's up, y'all? And another thing. So this morning at like 5 a.m., as I was going to lay down, because I'm a night owl, I stay up all night or whatever. I ended up saying, I said, what am I gonna put on? And then put on the Wiz, right? But anyway, I realized that NPR said the Wiz on it. And I was like, oh, I said that must be that Wiz kid from Africa, that do the Afro beats or whatever. But it was actually the Wiz. Oh my god. It's funny because I was thinking about the Wiz the other night. Well, as I was watching the Wiz, my mother, back in the day, she would have us gather around. This was our movie, okay? Of course, like many other families. But it's my movie. It was made for me. In the 70s, they was thinking for me. God was like, this is for Angel. So don't be mad that God made that movie for me. But he did. As I was watching The Wiz, I was doing like my mother used to do with us, and she would give us all the messages that she would see, like don't be afraid to get out there and how God protects you and stuff like that. Like these are the lessons that we would hear as little girls as we gathered around the TV to watch our favorite family movie around Thanksgiving, of course. But we would like watch it all year round. It just would not be just Thanksgiving. It's because it's our movie. The Lord made it for us. Anyway, this morning, and I was watching The Wiz. I was like, let me look at it again. Every time I watch The Wiz for real, I watch it with a prophetic eye, like or a eye full of messages. Like, what was it? What's being said? What's the deeper message there? Like I like going deep. Yeah, I was just looking at how every one of the characters, something I, kind of never thought about before, that every one of the characters that she ran into, the Scarecrow, the Lion, and Tin Man, actually were very connected to her, symbolic as to what she was going through, different parts of her that she was coming in contact with, physically facing and hearing the issue out loud. That really spoke to me, like, of course, we knew it was a reason externally as to why she ran into these people. It looks like, okay, it's to help these people, but internally, she's facing different parts of her on this road that she stumbled upon chasing comfort because her dog was someplace, a precious place for her. Anyway, as I was, going through some of those messages in my head, and then to wake up and see that NPR actually has The Wiz on, and it's actually like The Wiz. And I was like, oh my God. So anyway, I wanted to do a little review. Yeah, like, okay, so let's look at it.
And I'm watching you grow. I know I make you sad sometimes, but I see your feelings show.
And let me just say that this song of The Wiz, first of all, it was just for black people, okay? It's for everybody. It's for me and my family. Then it's just for black people, right? It's just such a good feeling verbalizing growth and what a parent sees.
Oh, and one day I look around and you will be grown. You'll be out in the world, such a pretty girl, but you'll be on your own. And I'd like to know that they're feeling we once had. Knowing you can always come to me whenever you're feeling sad. Don't lose the feeling we once had. Don't lose the feeling.
Child, before they introduced it, said that this was actually like the cast. I was like, oh, is this her daughter? This feels so good. Like, it's good acting. It's good acting. I don't know if The Wiz is in DC or not, but I've never seen it live, and I gotta see it.
Don't you lose the feeling we once had. Don't you lose the feeling. Don't you lose the feeling we once had. Don't you lose the feeling.
That felt so good. So good to the soul. The whole Annie M and Dorothy relationship just said a lot. The potential that Annie M seen made me think about God is that Annie M was like almost she almost got upset that Dorothy didn't even want to see what was past 125th Street, and she was like, "You're never gonna know unless you try." It's like she snapped at her. Annie M said, "I'm your aunt, but I'm your mother today." And the funny thing about it, I don't think anybody ever paid attention or ever said it, but you probably seen it. You probably seen it and said it. Toto, in the spirit of offense. Ah! Toto said, "Oh, you ain't got to." She said, "Toto said you ain't got to."
Going. Come on, Annie. Going south of 125th
Look,
Street
look.
ever made anybody's life better.
And you're never gonna know unless you try.
So this part makes me say, God, do you get upset when we don't want to venture into the wilderness, into the unknown? Like, what if Moses didn't want to leave Egypt? What if he didn't want to come back to Egypt? Because Moses went through the wilderness 3 times. One, by himself to flee the place that he was at. 2, to come back to grab people. And 3, to lead them out of it. And each time it was a different journey. First time he was just trying to flee for safety. Second time he's got a direction or an instruction from God. And he's like, what am I supposed to say? Who am I gonna say who sent me? You know what I'm saying? But like, if he stays stuck in that box wanting to be nobody but Moses, the prince of Egypt, he would have never became one of the forefathers of the faith who God spoke face to face with, and gave the first covenant to. Like, it's bigger than just being the prince of Egypt. Message where, like, God, breaking out these walls and rubbing up against people, rubbing past people, because people are filled with hurts and offense and life and struggles and trials, and then sometimes bumping up against each other, you can't help but to have a little friction.
Whatever your fears are, well, they'll be defeated just by facing up to them. Now you take that new job and find a place for you and Toto.
Annie M said, "You need to go because me and Uncle Henry won't walk around naked." Toto was like, we ain't got to take this. Look at Toto. Toto said, "You ain't got to tell me but once. That's the last time she gonna put us out this house. You just gonna let her talk to any type of way. You let her talk to you any type of way. Huh? Shoot, I ain't got to deal with this. I'm gonna be out here in this snow. Look, offended ain't got nowhere to go. Don't we do that? Don't we do that? We Toto. We be offended and ain't got nowhere to go but outside in offense." But here's what I heard Holy Spirit say, that sometimes he'll allow offense to come to push you out of a comfort zone. Lord, please don't let me. To push you out of a comfort zone so that it can push you to move. Look where Toto at once you find Toto. On the side of a building. Like, she could have talked to me like that. I would sit in the snow, cold as a mug, outside in the snow, just because you offended. Huh? But chasing her comfort caused her to move to a place where the Lord wanted her, where Annie M seen her, where she needed to be, because pushing her out, she was taken to a place very unfamiliar in this strange world she was in, where she had to face different parts of herself, seemingly helping other people, but also, having no choice but to move and discover, because she's thinking she's trying to get back home to the comfort, but she's moving in more so in a direction of freedom, because stumbling across this road, we as we know, has she ends up like by accident hoping to free the scarecrow, the tin man, the lion, you know.
At the Tiny Desk Church, say amen.
Not the Tiny Desk Church. Black people going black everywhere.
Hey y'all, we're the cast of The Wiz.
So I was like, oh, okay, this is the cast of The Wiz. Okay, I gotta see it. I want to be seen green.
So you wanted to meet the wizard.
So you wanted to meet the wizard. Yes, so beautiful.
We hope you enjoy this next amazing masterpiece right here.
Woo! Let's loosen it up a little bit. You can't win.
Thanks, sir.
You can't break even. You can't get out of the game. People keep saying things are gonna change, but they look just like the same. You get in when over your head. You only got yourself to blame. You can't win, child. You can't break even.
And you can't get out of the game. Let me let him sing it. Yeah.
Woo! This one I fall all over the place. You can't win no way. If the story stays the same, you ain't winning.
No.
But it's nice to see ya. I'm not glad you came. Cool as wine, 'cause ain't nobody losing.
And the world has got no shame.
The world has got no shame. You can't win, child. You can't win, child. No.
Yeah.
You can't win, child. No. You.
See, black people, we gonna black everywhere and all over a song, huh? In a restaurant, we gonna bring our own hot sauce, huh? In a white service, we gonna shout. We gonna black everywhere. Praise the Lord.
Can't win. No. You can't win.
Sing, sir. This brother can sing. I've seen him on a few Tiny Desks. I'm not gonna sit here and name the Tiny Desks that I've seen him on because the memory's not memorizing right now. But this brother can sing.
I said you can't break even. You can't get out of the game. You can't get out of the game.
Come on, tell us something.
You can't get out of the game.
Listen. He sang that. Huh? Did he sing it? He sang it. Now see, with the Tin Man, this is my song, What? With the Tin Man, I was thinking about this. I was like, being as though that Dorothy was with Annie M, she lost somebody. And I was listening to the words of the Tin Man, and he was like, I could suddenly feel and then know once again that what I feel is real. And feeling a loss or experiencing a loss can numb you in places where you never thought you were, and where you never thought you could be and or would be numb. Especially if you're a very touchy-feely person, you're like, man, I just don't want to think about it. So in the midst of not thinking about it, in the midst of not grieving the loss, we tend to harden there because we are people of flesh. And think about, not paying attention to your feet. Your feet hardens when you just don't pay attention to it. Anything we don't pay attention to tends to harden. Anything we don't maintenance tends to harden. And so the numbing can come when we try to push away grieving. And so when I was looking at that, I was like, yeah, she is with Annie M and Uncle Henry. Where are her parents? So, listen to those words. I was like, oh, wow, this is an extension of, you know, Dorothy's, Dorothy's feeling of loss and dealing with where she is, and dealing with where you are can cause you to turtle up and just stay in a very compressed space because you don't want to brush past anybody anymore. You don't want to experience the loss anymore, so you confine yourself. I know this for a fact. Yeah, staying very confined myself, from the pandemic and stuff like that, and then losing friends and stuff like that. People that you would think that would always be there, like your sister, your mom, or just other friends that you would think you would never lose. They go, they leave, and so because you don't want to experience the loss again, you tend not to bring nobody else in or close. So it causes you to stay in that confined space. And with the scarecrow as well, not thinking that you're smart enough, not thinking that you have it in you to do, can be another portion, an extension of Dorothy, extension of ourselves that causes us to stay paralyzed in our place of confinement, yeah, and that's usually it. It's a lot of other things, but those are three big factors. You feel like you're not smart enough. You don't want to experience pain, and you're afraid to reveal your lack of strength. You feel like you're not strong enough in a lot of different areas. You're not strong in intellect, or you're not strong in being able to help or lead people. All these things can keep you confined. So, very, very, should I say, revelatory when it comes to the three portions or the three extensions that will cause a person to stay confined and not um, step out there. Though, in this place that she was kind of like raptured up in, she kind of had to face these portions of herself. In the meantime, freeing, having these conversations, and in the midst of thinking she's helping somebody else, these are the conversations that she's taking back with her when she goes home. And when the heartless or the numbness shows up, she's like, you got more love in your eyes than anybody I know. You got more compassion and than anybody I know. And, you got more brains than anybody I know. She's now talking to herself in the mirror, and you're the bravest person I know out there. You were the one that got us this. You were the one that got us that. And in all actuality, these are reflections that she's speaking to within the mirror. Really dope.
What would I do?
Ooh. He could sing.
If I could reach inside of me.
And his voice was like really plain and simple, but it's just like that first note was like, soulful, very much so, hitting here.
And know how it feels to say I like what I see, then I'd be glad, so glad to share.
Listen, they coming through with these harmonies, ain't they?
All that I have inside of here, and the songs.
P.S. I hope you're not watching this to watch this, because no, this is not what this is. This is my review of it and my conversation around The Wiz.
So my heart would bring you be more than glad to say, and if a tear
to be honest, that is something that I dealt with a lot, losing my mom and my sister. I cried like a baby when my mom was taken out of the house, when she was taken out of the house, when she finally, kicked the bucket and was gone. I laugh. I'm not being insensitive, but I said the way I said because we found out like literally 3 weeks within the time that she had to live. She was walking around, and then within those 3 weeks, she was deteriorating. And God, in His graciousness, allowed my sister Tarsha to have a place big enough to have like her whole family, not like mom's daughters, her sons-in-laws, her grandchildren, her sister, all gathered around. My cousin Rosalie, my cousin uncles, they came, they sang to her. And people came to visit her, her goddaughters, Coco and Robin. Well, Coco was just Coco that came by. Did Robin come by? She may have, but yeah, she was literally there, surrounded by family for the last 3 weeks of her life, which was such a blessing. I was like, God, you love my mommy for real, because wow, that's amazing. Like 24/7, we were all there for the last 3 weeks of her life. But I cried like a baby when they grabbed her body, not grabbed her body, but zipped her up and put her in the car, and I watched it all the way around till it was out of sight, and then I just broke. But after that, it was hard to shed a tear. It was hard to shed a tear, and I would dream about her a lot, and it was like the hardest thing in my life just happened to me. And so it made me not want to feel for a while. Like I was big partying, big sipping, big drugging, popping pills and popping bags, I'm not I'm not gloating about it, but I laugh about it because like I was really a pothead, like really a pot party pill alcohol head, and that's why the Lord had to slow me down. But yeah, I was numb. And I didn't want to cry. And for the longest time, I cried sparingly. It's just within this last year that the Lord has been able to soften my heart a little bit more, that I'm able to, kind of shed tears a little bit more often.
Just do a thing, the time I can spend being born. Yeah. Tell me what I do. Tell me what.
That man can sing.
What would I do? Say.
Listen, let's go. I'm gonna want to get married.
Don't you know that I'm ready to fight? I'll tell you day and tonight. I'ma mean no lie. And if your heart right, you'll detour to the right.
The Lord done put some ingredients in thick people called I'ma sing you silly and I'ma cook you fat, because the good elbow that swing like this, the good thick roundness, means that I can hit a note like a clock, sister, and I could cook a green that's mean and bad. Huh? Gonna cure all your digestive issues. You're gonna want to drink the pot liquor. Huh? Somebody say it again.
I'ma mean no lie.
And I know he can cook.
All you strangers better beware. This is the king of the jungle. Yeah. And if I happen to let you slide, don't just stand there running hard. No, you just come up to the side. I'ma mean no lie. Mean no lie.
That's nice. All right, I want to hear her sing.
Amen.
And now for our last little medley.
Pick your right foot up when your left one's down.
Come on, legs, keep moving. Don't you lose no ground.
Lose no ground.
'Cause the road you're walking might be long sometimes.
But just keep on stepping and you'll be just fine.
Yeah, this version of Ease on Down feels like a black sitcom. It feels like, feels like Family Manners. It feels like TGI Friday, Feels like Bill Cosby, A Different World, Living Single. What? Family Matters, that's the name.
Come on and ease on down the road. Come on and ease on down the road. Don't you carry nothing that might be a load. Come on, ease on down.
Listen, I wasn't mad that they didn't do the fast version, but I was mad because I was like, come on, 1, 2, 3, come on and you down the road. Oh, don't you never nothing that my... I am making some ugly faces on him. Judge yourself. Because I am a beautiful person. Right? I'm a beautiful person. I have beautivity inside of me.
Down the road.
Yes, ain't nothing. You gotta bring it down. And the musician was like, 1, 2. All right now, okay. Every musician, every church musician, they got that inner nod of direction. That, praise the Lord. That inner musician. Music director nod. I think she sings Home.
When that makes the tall grass bend into leaning, suddenly the raindrops that fall, they have a meaning, sprinkling the...
And that's the thing. The older you get, you realize there are no coincidences in life. There's meaning in life. Come on, Angel, preach to yourself. Everything was for a reason. Let me preach from a spiritual. God knew what he put inside of Dorothy. Okay? So he had to send her to a place. He had to, first of all, let me take it back. Boom. He had to show her. Because, okay, Dorothy was on that snow outside, knocked out for a minute. You ain't gonna tell me, because nobody came outside to look for her in that snow. She just got there and went inside like Annie M wasn't scanning. Her Uncle Henry was asleep. Okay, she just say, "Did you find your dog?" Nothing. Okay, nothing at the end. It was just credits. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Anyway, everything she was going through, it was a reason. It was a reason he had to show her what was inside of her, because what was inside of her was not for her. It was for her to face. It was for her to see what God put inside of her, for her to help people see what's inside of them, for them to be bold enough to know what's inside of them to go help another people so they can reveal and see who they really are. It's a ripple effect. And so being bold enough to step out there and say, you know what is in me, God has given me for someone else so they can break free and help someone else so they can break free. You're called to a people. And whether you see those people flourish or not, on this side, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you get moving. So, and home is, to me, is, as Glenda said, being at home in yourself, knowing who you are, knowing that God is giving you something special. So know that what's inside of you is special and that the Most High has given it to you. So rest in that. Rest in knowing that He has given it to you for a reason and it has meaning, it has purpose, and let that be the drive. Let that be the drive. Let it move you into your purpose. You may be afraid, and no, you're not like everybody else. Your videos won't look like everybody else. Your conversation doesn't sound like everybody else, which is good because we have a lot of oversaturated markets right now anyway. So be the you God created you to be. All right? When you think of home, think of a place of love overflowing and in your life, but love overflowing into other people's lives. All right, peace.